Hello guys, welcome back to Tabletop Corner. Today I'm just powering through some more of the sheer amount of Doctor Who miniature stuff that me and my dad got each other from the Warlord Games Black Friday sale for Christmas. Today I'm going to look at the 1st, 4th and 10th Doctors and 5th, 11th and 12th Doctors expansion packs. Buy both of these from Warlord Games, you get them like together as a pack, you get them at a slight discount and get a special surprise, which we're going to save for the end of the video. So first of all I'm going to look at 5th, 11th and 12th Doctors because I think these are the less interesting ones. You can see the miniatures painted on the back there, and they look pretty cool. So let's get into this. Okay, so we got the plastic off, and now we're just gonna carefully pop the box open. I love these little tiny, like dinky sort of expansion boxes that they put in some of the smaller expansions. They're rather nice, very easy to store as well. It's just reach in there and dig it out. Oh! Okay, that's interesting. I didn't realise this. You do actually get the cards with these expansions. Okay, I didn't realise that. I thought you... Honestly, because the cards are online, you can get these cards on the... You can get PDFs of these cards on the Warlord Games website. I didn't think it came with the cards. So, that's interesting. So you do get the cards, so that's good. What I have done, however, is I've already filmed me talking about the cards from the Warlord Games PDFs, so we'll go through those there still, and then we'll have a look at the miniatures. So this was packed for us by Ronnie. Thank you, Ronnie, for packing these for us. And you'll notice these are plastic miniatures with the base already attached, which is interesting. Might have to refocus the camera to get a good look at these guys though. So there is the 5th Doctor. Camera's still struggling to get a good look at him though. But yeah, if I hold him there, it sort of looks good enough. Then we have the 11th Doctor in the middle. And finally we have the 12th Doctor on the end. This is the second 12th Doctor figure. I probably won't use this one much because I already have the 12th Doctor expansion, which has him in pewter, so I probably won't be bothering with this one too much, but I'll probably use it to experiment with painting, etc. Now we'll look at the 1st, 4th and 10th Doctors packs. Arguably definitely three of the most important Doctors there is. Arguably three of the best, arguably the three best, who knows. We'll pop these open now. Oh, just realised there's actually a little hole in it, in the plastic already on the side here. So, never mind. Okay. So again, lovely little dinky box with the three of them in it. We'll pop that box open. And inside here, again we've got the card packs that I didn't realise you got with these. And the miniatures in this little Gallifreyan box. Again, this one was packed by Ronnie. So, first of all we have the 1st Doctor, which is a very interesting looking mini. Then we have the 4th Doctor, which is quite possibly my favourite sculpt of the Doctor in this game. I think it's just got a lot more character to it than the others. I mean, the Matt Smith one's pretty good as well. And they all do a good job of capturing the likeness of that Doctor, but I feel like this one is just, you know, there's a lot more going on. And then finally we have the 10th Doctor. Again, this is a duplicate. We already have the 10th Doctor expansion, so again it'll probably just be used to practice painting and whatnot. Obviously if you want to go for different looks of that Doctor, you can do so if you end up with multiples, so that's cool. So there you go, there's the 6 Doctors from each of the 3 Doctors expansions. But what would any Doctor be without their faithful companions? So today's extra content is the K-9 miniature that you get if you order this these double expansions off Warlord games. Bit of a funny story about K-9. Me and my family always do our own crackers for Christmas dinner. So we're always looking for a small gift for each other to put in the cracker. Mine was the K-9, and what we quite often do after Christmas dinner is just leave everything on the table. And what must have happened is K-9 must have got stuck to a bit of wrapping paper, like the sellotape on a bit of wrapping paper, and got thrown in the recycling. So the next day, on Boxing Day, I was trying to find him, and I was looking everywhere, and obviously he's a very small thing to find, to go missing, and couldn't find him anywhere. So eventually, not after too long actually, we started looking through the recycling, found him quite quickly then. But yeah, that was a very worrying thing, because the thing is, if someone else hadn't mentioned the fact that he might have gone in the recycling, I probably never would have looked, or at least I would have looked there very last after searching high and low for ages. And you can't get this except for with these expansions, so you know, it was really not one to lose. But yeah, K-9 is really cool. He's probably my favourite Doctor Who character, rivaled only by Wilf, because I like cute robots. And yeah, I'll get into the K-9's card in a bit. That is one I'm going to have to print off. But yeah, he's pretty cool. So yeah. Okay, so as it's turned out, after discovering the cards in the boxes and seeing I'd already recorded this part where I was going to talk through the cards in their PDF format, turns out OBS Studio didn't save the video of me doing so. I don't really know why I expect it to do anything successfully anymore. So I'm going to do it again anyway, so I may as well have just done it while I was doing the opening, but I digress. Let's get on with it. The first one here is the First Doctor. He has got 6 movement, 4 resilience, +1 melee dice, 0 shooting dice. He comes with 2 fate tokens, and he is unique. He has wounds 2, all hope is lost, and tough, which is quite common for the Doctor. We're going to talk through just the all hope is lost and tough abilities. All hope is lost once per game. A faction with 1 or more characters with this trait can exchange all its combat cards for the same number of fate markers. Now this was really helpful in my last game, in which I used the 10th Doctor to trade in all my combat cards for fate markers, and that allowed me to recover figures that otherwise would have died, would have cost me the game. In fact, it was the Doctor himself, I believe, who's shocked. He would have been instantly killed if he was meleeed, but I managed to trade everything in for fate markers and recover him. So that worked out. He's also got tough, which means he can't be shocked by shooting attacks, which is also going to help out very much, because it means the Doctor is going to have more legs to him, which is always nice. However, it does mean he doesn't really have a particular thing that he is doing for the team, apart from being really good at shooting. I'm going to look at the backs of these cards second, just because there's not really much variation on what's on them, so we'll go through those after I've been through all of the fronts. So the Fourth Doctor is exactly the same, except instead of tough, he has Maverick, which allows him to expend a fate marker to make a second move in either the movement or the shooting subphase. Now that doesn't feel like it's an unbelievable ability. Generally kind of feels like he's probably just going to end up miles away from everyone else, which, to be honest, if you're playing Doctor and Companions, it feels like you probably want to keep them together, but I don't know, maybe there's some use for this. And finally we have the 10th Doctor. He's the exact same again, except he has +1 to his shooting dice, and he doesn't have an extra ability, as you can see, just as unique, wounds 2, and all hope is lost. What is interesting though, is there is a different 10th Doctor card, and I believe that is a errata to this, which perhaps was a bit of an underpowered version, so that he now has Bodyguard. It's not included in the cards, so we don't have it to talk about here at hand right now. Looking at the backs of the cards, we can see that each of them has a sonic screwdriver, except for the First Doctor, who has a hypnotic ring instead. Either weapon is a 6 range, 4 shooting dice, or close combat with 4 melee dice, and it is limited to shocked, which means you cannot exterminate someone with the attack, which is very fair for the Doctor, really. He doesn't want to kill anyone. He's definitely capable at what he does. Next, we're going to be looking at the 5th, 11th and 12th Doctors, which I probably should have done first, to be honest with you, but I digress. The 5th Doctor comes in 6/4 +1/+1, 2 fate markers again, unique, wounds 2, all hope is lost, but this Doctor comes in with Brave as his unique ability. Brave allows him, during the upkeep, to remove an under fire marker on a score of a jacket or a surge. Now, in my last game, I went 6 turns. In 6 turns I removed 2 under fire markers, so that's probably a very helpful ability. Never underestimate the ability of removing under fire markers. It kind of sounds like it's not going to be that important, but it really is. Honestly, under fire markers are one of my least favourite parts of this game. It is possible to just be completely stunned and just be unable to play the game because of the under fire markers, but yeah. The 11th Doctor again, 6/4 +1/1 +2 of Fate tokens, unique, wounds 2, all hope is lost, and hard to hit, which gives all characters that shoot towards him a -1 combat dice penalty, which is very helpful because the Doctor's going to have a huge target on his back. Making him a little bit harder to hit or harder to shock is going to be great. So 11th Doctor and 1st Doctor are very good in that respect. Next we have the 12th Doctor, who in his original incarnation really sucked because with the sonic sunglasses were meant to originally just be a melee weapon or a shooting weapon, I can't remember which, I think it was melee, and when you compared that to the sonic screwdriver that could do both, it was completely incomparable. It turns out the original sonic screwdriver was ranged and sunglasses was melee, and then the screwdriver was rated to do both, whereas the sunglasses I don't think ever were. So yeah, the 12th Doctor was terrible, but you can give him the screwdriver instead. I think one of the things that's missing from all of these is the ability to have a sonic device attached to them, because they have it included with a card, whereas others have my stuff ability. But anyway, the 12th Doctor is 6/4 +1, Fate Marker, unique, wounds 2, all hope is lost, and bodyguard, which, as you may assume, basically allows him to take hits that are rolled on a damage table to himself. So essentially how I believe it works is that when you get to a point where you've made your attack, you've hit, and you're about to roll the dice on the damage table, instead of rolling the dice against the character you were originally targeting, you then roll the damage against Doctor instead. As you can see, again, all of them have a sonic screwdriver included, including the 12th Doctor. So we'll go through the adventure cards here. To be honest with you, I forgot about them for a second there. So first of all, we'll go through the 5th Doctor's adventure card. This is called Braveheart. Discard this card to immediately remove all under fire tokens from any companions in the game. Like I say, don't underestimate how useful that can be. It's possibly not as good as some of these other cards are, but it is still going to be a very helpful card. 11th Doctor's unique card is It's a Fez, or a Fez now. Fezes are cool. Discard this card to cause all enemy special characters in the line of sight to the Doctor to become immediately shocked. And that is of course going to mean that if you do this before your melee phase, anyone who you shock that way is then going to be a free exterminate, which will probably make your melee phase a lot more productive. And the 12th Doctor's unique card is Attack Eyebrows. You discard this card to automatically place 2 under fire tokens on all enemy non-special characters within 6 inches of the Doctor. So that again is quite substantial. Don't underestimate how helpful those under fire markers could be, especially when you get 2 of them. It's going to take at least 2 turns to get rid of them. Even then, you're probably not going to get rid of all of them anytime soon. So this could really, really stumble your opponent's team up. Okay, so back to the original pack. The 1st Doctor's unique card is Eloquent Speech. Discard this card at the beginning of any turn. All non-special characters that begin the turn within 8 inches of the Doctor may not move, shoot, or engage during that entire turn. They may, however, defend themselves in melee combat. Now, what's interesting about this is you can tag this with a Doctor unique adventure card, which allows you to take an additional turn. This will essentially allow you to have 2 free turns. Of course, anything that's further away from 8 inches than the Doctor is still going to be able to move, but that's very unlikely if you play this very late on in the game. It's a good card. It's a really good card, that. Next we have Would You Like a Jelly Baby for the 4th Doctor. You can discard this card and select one enemy non-special character within 6 inches of the Doctor. That character immediately joins the Doctor's faction until the end of the game. So he can just mind control a guy and just take him for the rest of the game. He's limited to only doing non-special characters, which is a bit of a shame, but it does mean that, you know, you're going to be able to get a free guy for this adventure card, and that's, you know, that's really good. It's arguably better mind control than the Master has. And finally, the David Tennant, the 10th Doctor's unique adventure card. I'm so sorry. Discard this card to transform any 2 shocked results caused this turn into exterminate. It's really good to have the exterminate card, to have the ability to just turn shocked into exterminates whenever you need it, because it can be quite difficult to turn shocks into exterminates and to kill people off. In this game, it can take quite a while to hit them, especially if both players are playing special character style teams. So this card can be very helpful then. I did play this card the last time I played the game with the 10th Doctor. I didn't actually use it because I wanted to make sure I got the 2 exterminates, and then in the end I didn't actually use it at all. Won the game without it in the end, but it's nice to have the option of just killing things straight off. And from there we'll go into our faithful robot companion, K-9. He has got 4 movement, 4 resilience, plus 2 melee dice, and plus 2 shooting dice, and we'll get into that in a second. He has got unique, wounds 2, scientific genius, hard to hit, and good dog. Now we've got hard to hit, we already explained with the 11th Doctor, but the other 2 are explained on the back of the card, so we'll get into that now. So, his abilities: scientific genius. If K-9 picks up a Vortex node, the value on the back represents how many victory points that node is worth. If transferred to or picked up by another character, that value reverts to 1 VP. And good dog is if K-9 is within 6 inches of the Doctor or a companion, any wounds scored against them can be transferred to K-9 instead. As you can see from the top of the page, he's also got some incredible weaponry with a 6-range laser scalpel that gives him 5 shooting dice, which is obscene because it means with the 2 he already has, that's going to be 7. He also has restraint, which means he can't exterminate anyone with a shot. Energy, which means he also hits on surges. And integral, which just means he can't drop the weapon. And secondly, he has a muzzle-mounted shock wand, that was hard to say, as a melee option, which again gives him plus 5 dice. This gives him shock, which is just like energy for the ranged weapons. It lets you hit with surges, and in this instance it doesn't have restraint, so you can't exterminate people with that. Basically, either way that K-9 is fighting, he's attacking with 7 dice, and whether he can exterminate you or not, he is a pretty substantial fighter. And the thing that makes him all the more substantial is his unique adventure card, which is K-9 Whistle. This adventure card allows the Doctor to include K-9 in his faction. The K-9 recruitment card does not count towards the faction's total. This adventure card can never be discarded and always counts towards your active adventure card total. Now what's good about that, of course, which is pretty obvious, is that K-9 can be included in any team with the Doctor on it for the sake of 1 adventure card. And let me tell you, he is way worth it. If nothing else than just for an extra bodyguard for the Doctor with wounds 2 and his good dog ability, he is incredibly good at just fighting people and taking people on. Of the lot, I think K-9 is the standout piece here, but obviously you've got to have a Doctor to play him with, and you know there is a good selection with these 2 boxes for the lot of them. As I say, do look out for any possible potential card erratas. I believe the 10th Doctor and the 12th Doctor have definitely been errated since these boxes came out. Some of the erratas and stuff in this game are a little bit hard to keep up with, but you know, should be easy enough to work out once you start getting into the game. So again, if you like the look of these sets, you can buy these 2 sets with the K-9 miniature from Warlord Games for $23.99. And Warlord Games do periodically do good sales on their website, including 3 for 2 sales, which is where me and my dad got all this Doctor Who content. But for now, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching it, and goodbye.